Hello and welcome to this video where you're joining me making a double-ended coffin spray. Basic conditioning is essentially getting our flowers out of our plastic wrap. They're also bound with elastic or twine, so cutting that off, stripping down any excess leaves. You then want to cut the stem at an angle. This maximises the surface area so that the stem can pick up as much water as possible. Okay, so the first thing we need to sort is what we call the mechanics. That's all the things that keep an arrangement in place. For example, floral foam. So I've soaked my floral foam and it's in a tray as well. To keep it in place even more, I'm going to use pot tape to tape down the block. The next thing I would do is to think about the general size and shape. Okay, I happen to know that that is the length of my trestle table here. Okay, if I was working on a bigger table, I would measure out my distance and get a bit of pot tape and just mark that. We're going to start with our greenery to create our basic shape. Now, a double-ended coffin spray is essentially a diamond shape. I'm going to use a very traditional bit of greenery that is often used in funeral work, and that is leather leaf. Now, leather leaf is a type of fern, and quite unusually it comes in these plastic bags. Keep it in the plastic bag until you need it. Now, leather leaf is really useful for lots of things, not just for funerals, but particularly I like it for coffin sprays because it's got these pointed leaf shapes, okay, which really helps us make that diamond structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and essentially find my longest two leaves and use those as my markers for the longest dimensions of the coffin spray. So as you're doing your what we call greening up, you want to think about concealing as much of the mechanics as you possibly can. As I'm putting in my first bits of greenery, I'm starting with my longest edges. I'm angling up into the foams ever so slightly, just to cheat the angle so that the leaves themselves angle down slightly. Okay, I'm going to do that the whole time so that it reduces the amount of the mechanics that you'll be able to see. You might be tempted to try and keep as much stem as possible and just put it more firmly into the foam. You might think, oh, that'll make it more stable, I'm utilising the full length of what I've paid for, but actually if you think about it, you're going to end up with a traffic jam in the middle of your foam. So don't be afraid to cut and trim. I've now got my diamond shape, okay? So I'm now going to fill in the gaps a little bit here to make that diamond shape even more pronounced. You can hopefully see that I'm beginning to create that diamond shape all the way round. We also do need to think about our side profile. Now we want to create a kind of smooth curve from one end to the other without it being too tall. Okay, I'm going to save this last little bit of leather leaf and I'm actually going to cut it down into smaller segments to create some of my height. So you can see there are what we call the fronds of the leaf. I'm going to divide it up to make two smaller sections to give me some markers for my height. Now you might be tempted to keep it simple and just think, oh, I'll just use leather leaf, that's fine for greenery. But actually I'd really encourage you to use different types of foliage. So I'm now adding in a different type of greenery. This is actually a type of eucalyptus, so it has a really nice smell as well. And this is called Robusta, and it comes in long stems. And as you can see, the leaves are really quite large, which makes it ideal for any kind of arrangement where you've got a mechanic to cover. So obviously we're trying to disguise our block of floral foam as much as possible. Next thing I'm going to do is start to add some of the flowers. So I'm going to start by doing the flowers at the kind of longest points, and you want to kind of think about which way up your flowers face and cheat it so that they're facing upwards, if that makes sense, as much as possible. Now you can see with the ones that I've started with, I've tried to keep it roughly symmetrical. Okay, I put one on each of the 4 points of my diamond, and then I interfilled those here as well, trying to mix up the levels a little bit. So I've done 8 roses here. I'm going to add a couple more in to the centre of the arrangement. We're going to add some more roses, but for now I'm going to focus on adding some of my other flowers, just to make sure that I've got space. Okay, and this is a delphinium. It's a long flower, you might call it a spike flower, okay, or a line flower, so if you're thinking about different types of flower for design work. And it's got small little flower heads going up. And with any kind of line flower, there's nothing to stop you, same as I did with the eucalyptus, from cutting one bit in half. Those 2 bits actually were one stem, and I cut it in half, stripped some of the flowers back, and now I've ended up with 2 sections to use. Now obviously the blue of these isn't as, strong as the delphiniums, but it just ties it together a little bit, adds a more kind of subtle kind of blue, and also a kind of fun texture. Just as I was getting ready to add my chrysanthemums, I decided I was going to spin it around so you can see the other side, and also I can see the other side, just to make sure that we're not ending up with lots of gaps that I can't see. Okay, so I am going to leave it there for now. The reason being is because even my emergency lilies that I bought today still need to open up a little bit more, and they're going to be the real kind of crowning glory of the arrangement. So I want them to be full, and I want to stop overstuffing it so that there's space to still put them in. I'm very, very new to this, so please, if there's something that you're screaming at me about down the phone or wherever you're watching this, please pop it in the comments. I'm so open to learning, and I'm right at the beginning of my floristry journey, so hopefully you might come and join me, come and follow along. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, comment, let me know if there's any questions, maybe any videos you'd like to see me doing in the future, or yeah, anything that you just are interested about, please feel free to ask. Thanks, bye.